morning. It is Monday. Skincare time. I have a work call even though I'm off for that project that I've been doing in Massachusetts. Okay, so this is done for today and I will talk to you later. For kids first week. Okay, it is skincare time. It's Monday night. I worked a little bit today, maybe like 5 hours. And otherwise, just been hanging out. Went to the grocery store, went to Aldi. That's about it. I did make a small purchase from Black Friday today already. The Trend Mood mystery box came and I wanted to buy it last year, but I missed it before it sold out, so I bought it now with a discount code and hopefully it'll be in before you see this video. I heard the shipping is very fast for Trend Mood, but my mom says she didn't like the Estee Lauder either, so she went back to her go-to, which is the It Cosmetics eye cream. Good morning, it is Tuesday the 23rd. Time for skincare. It's basically exactly the same as the past couple of weeks. Okay, final look. Gonna go work on some stuff. Talk to you later. My dad and I took a day trip to Stillwater, Minnesota, which is right on the border of Wisconsin and Minnesota. So you can see here that actually across the river is Wisconsin. The riverboats that you see in front of you, you can book as a dinner cruise option if that's something you're into. Definitely look into it more in like the summer/fall time because it's really beautiful at that time. We found some free parking. It's right here, right next to the main street. Darn it anyway. The first stop on our trip is actually called Darn It Anyway. I'm laughing because I forgot how funny the name is because, you know, darn, you darn socks, and it's like also like a pun, darn it. And now it's not funny anymore because I just over-explained it. Stillwater actually has a bunch of small businesses, so I'm going to put the addresses, both physical and also the internet addresses, for everything that I am able to find for you, just so that you can support these businesses if anything catches your eye. In the Soda clothing store are a bunch of really niche items, but my favorite thing is that squirrel sticker, so definitely read it when it comes up on the screen. You just know that when I find an out-of-print rare bookstore, I have to stop in, so I definitely took a look here. They do have a website if you're interested. So this is actually Candyland. It has a Linus out front, so cute. I love peanuts. Candyland is one of the oldest candy stores in Minnesota. Actually, they have a lot of homemade candies in here, but you buy it by the pound if you're interested. But it's also really famous for popcorn, FYI. We also stopped at Tremblay's Sweet Shop, so this is actually another homemade candy store, but their claim to fame is actually they have a bunch of different saltwater taffies if you're interested in buying it. You also pay by the pound, but they also have some regular like mainstay sort of candies and then also a chocolate counter as well. When we were there, they were making hot chocolate bombs, so if that's something that you're interested in, they were definitely making those homemade as well. My dad refused to go up this big staircase. I don't know why. Sarah's Tipsy Pies had it at the state fair a few years ago. Next off, we went to Sarah's Tipsy Pies. So I had this at the state fair. It has kind of become a mainstay at the Minnesota State Fair. But we stopped in to buy a bunch of frozen hand pies. It was a mixture of sweet and savory, so definitely consider doing that if you're in the area. I think that they also do shipping, so I'll try to find a link below. Since we couldn't just go to happy hour right afterwards, we decided to do a little bit of a walk. Definitely a better walk for like summer, fall, spring, anything other than winter. Over there across the river is Wisconsin. So if we walk across here, do we get to Wisconsin?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah? We're gonna walk to Wisconsin. So we're walking across the bridge. Okay, so I'm going to cross over to Wisconsin. Minnesota, Wisconsin. Back at home and ready to show off our little mini haul of what we bought at Stillwater. So my dad, left to his own devices at Candyland, bought some turtles for himself basically. I picked out quite a few saltwater taffies, a mix of everything that my family likes, and some black licorice, and they're so cute, they have little houses in them. While we were away, my sister baked cinnamon rolls and my mom decorated the Christmas tree and the rest of the house. So my mom and I decided to go out the next day to Home Goods. I just want to show you what my Home Goods was looking like around Christmas. It was fully stocked to the brim. Every single aisle was packed with tons of goodies, tons of discounts, etc. They have tons of food items. That's like one of my favorite places to go grocery shopping, other than my new little bit of a hobby that's coming out as a video, so stay tuned for that. And then on top of that, they had a bunch of small appliances that were highly discounted, and some of them were like very high name brands. So I was actually quite impressed by what they were offering this season. Such a stately character. DSW, these are actually a really good price. Ulta. This Corby seems to drink a little bit too much wine. Apparently this panini press string is a hot commodity. Multiple people have come in to ask for it. Okay, I am going to bake the tipsy pies we got yesterday. So these are the 4 savory ones. So we got 2 brew pub Reubens and 2 onion gouda. And then we also have 2 Irish pecan, and these have some sauce, and then 2 Irish pecan tarts. So these ones are hand pies and these ones are tarts. And the tarts are actually gluten-friendly. So yeah. Anyway, I'm going to set the oven and stuff. All of the cooking instructions are on the back here. We got them as the freezer-friendly ones, and yep, you can also buy them fresh there if you want them baked, but we wanted to bring them home. Okay, so I have them laid out on some parchment as per the instructions. Here is the Reuben details with the ingredients, and then here is the packaging from the brown ale onion gouda. Okay, so here are the two dessert ones, and these ones are the Irish pecan pie, and it also came with a little bit of some whiskey in here. And I also have here the gluten-friendly ones, and these ones just say to warm it at 350 for 10 minutes or else to just like thaw it. I'm planning on putting it in at the end at 350 for 10 minutes, but yeah. Anyway, sorry that's kind of gross, but yeah. Here's the Irish pecan gluten-free tart. Gross sound. By way of a bad transition, I forgot to film an outro about today. So this one was actually full of mixed reviews in terms of the tipsy hand pies. So definitely go and based on your own flavor preferences, etc. But now I'm going to roll into Thanksgiving. So it is Black Friday. I don't think I checked in yesterday except for like with food, but it was kind of busy. It was just a bunch of like holiday stuff, so it is Black Friday today. I'm scoping out online if there's anything I really want to look at. As you know, I don't really do online shopping, so we'll see. But that's the update for now. I don't understand decorations. After not sleeping well because of how salty that food was, I had to peel myself out to go to the airport in the morning. So my flight actually got delayed quite a few times just because of, actually I don't know why it was delayed, but here I am back in the airport flying home to New York.
Safe not leaving for home. Thanks, New York.
After a long time away, we're back in my skincare corner. So basically I got back very much later than I thought I was going to. So originally my flight was supposed to get in I think around 1, and I didn't end up getting back in until like 3:45 or so, maybe 4, just because of the issue with Basically what happened was the pilot that was supposed to originally be scheduled was like delayed from another flight, and then they like swapped the pilot out, and then the second person that they swapped out was also delayed, so we ended up like with the third pilot eventually. So that just like was a cascading, you know, issues. And then when I got to the airport, I was going to just take an Uber home like normal. By that I mean I take Via. So I don't know if you know this, but pre-pandemic times, there was this thing called this $15 Connect from LaGuardia. And if you use Via, you're able to actually go anywhere in Manhattan for $15, which is a really good fee, by the way. It is kind of like a ride-sharing situation, so they do group you with other people, but you're typically going in like the same direction. But $15 is like worth it. So anyway, long story short, I looked on all of the ride-sharing apps. So I looked on Via, I looked on Uber, and I looked on Lyft, and I even like asked a taxi. And all of the rides were going to be like an hour 40 minutes, so it usually doesn't take like nearly that amount of time to get to my apartment from LaGuardia. So on top of that, the fees were going to be about $120 without like the bridge and tunnel or whatever fees. And then on top of that, there was a lot of traffic, they said. So it was also going to be likely a lot more expensive if they got stuck in traffic, because there's like some sort of thing, I don't actually understand it. They just said basically that it was going to be a lot more expensive because of like traffic. So once you hit a certain amount, I think like it starts going up by time. For the ride shares. Anyway, so I decided to take the bus. So the bus is very confusing if you're not used to it here. So I actually don't know what happened to this girl. She kept asking me questions about how to get a bus ticket, and I didn't know how to answer them because I had like my own card, because she said the ticket machine was only taking cash and she didn't have any cash. And I was like gonna loan her cash, or actually I was just gonna swipe her, but she like wasn't interested. But yeah, anyway, the bus ticket is they were giving out free rides on the the Q70. I think that one goes to Roosevelt, wherever. I can't even think today. I only slept like 45 minutes today, so it's been a very rough day. But yeah, anyway, it goes over to a station. Honestly, in retrospect, I should have taken that bus because it was there like right when I arrived. But I arrived in the D terminal of LaGuardia, and all of the buses are actually from the C terminal, so I took a little bit of a walk. This is a very long, rambling story. So then I was gonna help that girl get on the M60. So the M60 is a select bus service into Manhattan, and I was going to take that just because it's very simple and like it's only like 5 stops into the city. But then the issue is that the traffic was crazy. So I took about maybe like 45 minutes to get from Terminal C to Terminal A in the airport. And then once we got out onto like the real roads, it took even longer. I think I was on the bus for about an hour and a half, and I ended up actually jumping off the bus like right after that, because the bus driver actually announced that the JFK bridge was actually closed today, and they were going to be detouring to 59th Street. So if you don't know anything about geography in New York, where I was, it was about like 81st, I think. Anyway, we were like going like less than a snail's pace. So I jumped off, got on the subway, and then I ended up waiting for about 24 minutes for the subway to come, because like, I don't know why, but in Queens, like on the weekends, because today is Sunday, it's usually like 20 minutes between trains, so I ended up like missing it. So anyway, I waited, and by the time we got into Manhattan, somebody pulled the emergency brake on the train, so then we had to sit in the tunnel for like 5 to 10 minutes, and then I had to transfer at Times Square, and I've never been happier to see Times Square in my entire life. So I transferred at Times Square to like my normal train, but then in order to do that, I actually ended up to wait, I think it was like 18 minutes before that train. So in total, it took about 3.5 hours, I think, to get home. And usually when I take an Uber, it's like 15 minutes, like door to door. So yeah, that was rough, and I'm very tired. The dinner was not super satisfying, but it hit the spot, and now it's like 9 o'clock and I'm gonna go to bed. So But other than like the transportation fiasco at the end here, once I got back to, oh, I never said why. So the JFK bridge was actually, I was texting my friend because I was like, oh, I'm actually like kind of in your area. Anyway, she Googled it because she's a much better detective than me. And the reason is that there was apparently like a carjacking. I don't know. Somebody stole a car and then the police ended up like cornering them on the bridge, but then the driver like sped off and hit the police officer, and then the police officer fired at the vehicle as it was driving away, and then it shut down the bridge for like, I think it was like still shut down at 6, so whatever that is, like 5 hours. So like the shooting happened at like noon or 1, I think, and then it was shut down. And like literally the 25 minutes that I was standing waiting for the subway at the whatever station that was, I have zero idea what station it was. There was like no movement at all in the cars. So I was like watching the same exact bus sit there for 25 minutes, and I can't even imagine. So I was almost not going to jump off the bus at that moment because I was like, oh, I'm in Queens, I don't actually know where I'm going, and like I have a suitcase. It's better for me to just stay on the bus. But I think if I would have stayed on the bus, I still would be on the bus, if I'm being completely honest. So like the station, like the 2 stops that we were in between, like if you walked it, it would be maybe a 3-minute walk, and I don't know why that siren's so loud, but it'd be like a 3-minute walk. But in the time that it took us to go from that one station, one stop to the next stop, which is like a block and a half, it probably took us like 25 minutes, and we didn't even make it to the second station or the second stop. The bus driver just was like, we're making a detour, if you're getting off, get off here. So yeah, anyway, that's happened. A lot of us did jump off because I think a lot of us were like, oh my gosh, I can't even handle like being on here. So then I followed some of the people who looked like they knew where they were going to the subway station, and then I actually passed them when I started seeing the subway station because there's like the large overpass, and they apparently did not want to jaywalk with me. Like there was no, I mean there was a lot of traffic, but they weren't moving anywhere, so I just kind of ran through traffic. I don't know if that's what you're supposed to do, but I did it, and I wasn't in any danger or anything like that. But yeah, what a very much, I touched like every single possible option for public transportation on my ride home except for a ferry. But that would have been a very big like misstep in my communication with like the Google Maps if I ended up on a ferry. But yeah, anyway, that was everything, and I'm gonna go to bed now. Hopefully this was like semi-interesting. I don't think I have that much interesting footage, if I'm being honest. When I was at home, I just like, number 1, I was working a lot for the first few days, and then number 2, all I did basically was just like sit around, eat, and we did a little bit of shopping, but I didn't really buy anything, so I didn't really take that much footage. But I would say that my hometown's like home goods is like super well stocked, and they always have like a lot of products. I don't know why I mean maybe it's here that there's just like millions of people buying for the same products, but I don't know, it just seems like the one in my hometown has a lot better selection. Didn't really do much Black Friday shopping either, because I'm pretty well stocked on most of the things that I do buy. But I did buy a couple of things from the Whole Foods, not Whole Foods, FabFitFun sale, and I did buy a few things from, I bought a mystery box from Trend Mood, so that'll be coming, I think this week actually. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna go to sleep now, and then I'm gonna wake up tomorrow, obviously, and go to work. And thankfully, oh my gosh, thankfully I did not have to go to Springfield today, because that would have been a disaster. So I don't know if I will run into this, but like to get to Springfield, there's only like a couple of trains from Penn Station, and like only 2 direct trains per night or per day. So I either have to go like at like, what was it, like 11 a.m. or else I think there's one at 4:15, and then there's one later, I think it's 7:30. But the issue is the 7:30 one isn't an option, because once you get to Springfield, there's 0 taxis, 0 Ubers, 0 everything. So you have to walk from the station, and it's a little bit scary. It's not like scary like I'm gonna get, well, I don't know, maybe I would get murdered. But like it's more like you don't see anyone when you're walking, so it's kind of like dangerous in that way, that you could just like disappear and nobody would know. I don't know why the Sheraton doesn't have the transport service. They have shuttle buses in their parking garage. I don't know why they don't just like do the shuttle services, if you call it. But I asked them if they had it, and they said no. And then I said, so what is the trick about getting an Uber? And they said, come pre-pandemic. I was like, You're not very helpful. But yeah, anyway, do not need to go to Springfield this week, so thumbs up for that. So anyway, this is a long goodbye, so I will talk to you tomorrow with a new work week in my life, and I'll see you then. Bye.